My name is Aaron Cairo, and I've been skateboarding for most of my life. I grew up in a very small town in Montana where at the time there were literally no other skateboarders. Over a short period of time, I taught myself how to do almost every skateboard trick and really gained a solid base for all of my skateboarding from then on out. I developed a pattern and technique on learning tricks not only fast, but so you have them down well. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to build a solid foundation for all of your skateboarding and learn the fundamental skateboarding tricks. We will be covering the following basic tricks in this video. First thing is just riding your board and getting comfortable with your board. Riding includes turning, stopping, and anything in between. The following steps are learning to ollie, frontside 180, backside 180, hop shove-its, frontside shove-its, heel flips, and finally kick flips. These steps are meant to give you a guideline to follow and go from the easiest to hardest. If you are a little shaky with one trick and you go on to the next one, or you skip a trick in this order, you can have troubles as you learn more difficult tricks in the future. People have learned these tricks in different orders, but this is again just a guideline to make it easier for you and give you an exact path to follow as you learn how to skate. Just as the tricks themselves are broken down into the exact gradient step in learning, so are each step of each trick broken down to give you the easiest possible gradient. This is an example of each step of learning how to ollie. You can practice each step on its own, and if you ever have a problem on one step, you can just go back to the previous step until you get that one, eventually putting it all together until you get the full trick itself. The way I made the video is to break down every step of each trick, starting from the foot position to the very basics of just popping the board and sliding your foot up the board, so you know every part of the trick. Knowing every part of the trick gives you the ability to take a step back and see what part of the trick you're really missing when you try the full thing, so then you can practice just that step on its own. So when you're using this video, I want you to practice each step as I go over it, and don't go on to the next step until you really have that one. It's in this way that you're going to be able to learn all of these tricks and get them all down really well. The reason I chose the tricks to be learned in these steps is because they introduce the least amount of change in between the tricks. For example, once you learn how to ollie, all you have to change is swinging your shoulders to do the frontside 180. So you should be able to get that next step down very easy. I want to make it an easy gradient for you to learn all these tricks. So just follow the path that I've given you and you'll be able to learn them all really well. Before you get started skating, I want to familiarize you with your board and all of its parts so you can choose the best deck for you. There's so many different boards and equipment to choose from that correctly picking a board can be a very hard task. A lot of equipment and what is best is based on personal opinion and depends on what kind of skating you're into. Starting with your skateboard deck, the most important factor here is the width. Skateboards typically range from 7.5 inches to 8.25 inches in width. For tech skating and flip tricks, people generally use smaller width as it's easier to flip, and for ramps and stairs, people generally use wider boards because they have a wider space to land on. Also, how big your feet are is a factor as well, because if you have small feet and you ride an 8-inch board, it will be very hard to learn kickflips. I wear size 10 shoes and skate a 7.62 width of board, just to give you an example. Grip tape is the rough, blacktop, gritty material that sticks to the top of your board and gives you traction and control of the board. Hardware is what holds your trucks onto the board. The important factor here is just to make sure that they are the right length so the bolt doesn't stick up and that they are long enough to hold your trucks on. Here are your trucks, which you want to make sure match the width of your board. 7.75 trucks for a 7.75 width of board, for example. Next, onto the wheels. Your wheel size is the most important factor here. If your wheels are too big, the board will be too heavy and hard to flip. If your wheels are too small, you will literally be stopped on every crack and rock you hit. I recommend 52mm wheels because they are small enough to flip easily and big enough to roll well in most terrain. Now the bearings are the metal rings inside of your wheels, which allow your wheels to roll. There are many different kinds of bearings, and for beginners I suggest a moderately priced bearing that still works well but won't set you back too much. Now that you're familiar with the different parts of your skateboard, grab your deck and locate the following parts: skateboard deck itself, trucks, wheels, bearings, hardware, and grip tape. Now we'll get on to riding your board.